Hey everyone, hope you're doing well out there. So in today's video, I thought I would do something a little bit different here, kind of just pop on the camera here with you and riff a bit and share more of a philosophical take that I've been kind of reflecting on. There's a bit of a realization that I've been having, and I thought it would just kind of be cool to capture it and share it with you and offer it up because I think this is a really important thing for you all to understand that is often missing for a lot of people as they go about their personal healing path and working with psychedelics and all that kind of stuff. So what I want to talk about today is the idea of how important it is to engage and embrace engaging the mysterious, the unknown, the mystery as part of your self-healing path and part of your psychedelic path. So I'll give a few examples here in the video to kind of ground out what I'm saying and why I'm saying it. But I thought I would just kind of take a minute and give a little context here first. So, as a coach, I get a lot of contact from people wanting information, advice, wanting to understand better how to work with psychedelics to self-heal, wanting to understand my perspective on certain aspects of, psychology, of the self-healing process, of personal transformation. And I interact with a lot of people, whether it's clients of mine or, people that are becoming clients of mine and I'm kind of on the onboarding process with them, or people just kind of in my DMs or whatever. And a very common pattern I see for people who are kind of in a place of needing to heal is this intense drive to want to know with a cognitive, rational mind why we're messed up, how we got messed up, what exactly was the moment, what exactly happened. A lot of times we want a very linear, clear, conscious, rational explanation that kind of puts to clear understanding how exactly we ended up with whatever issue it is that we have. And unfortunately, that's not always something that's available to us. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't, right? And it's interesting to me because people have this impulse, and again, it makes sense. I mean, of course, we want to know so that we can avoid in the future. We want to know so that we can have more self-connection, self-empathy, self-compassion, so we can create more context around it. I get it. But a lot of times we are driven to know this when maybe we can't know this, or when maybe even knowing this doesn't change the issue. I mean, I know for myself, I spent a long time in my healing process knowing exactly what had happened, but it still didn't fix the thing. It still didn't change the patterns of dysregulation, still didn't change the sadness, the anxiety patterns, the dissociating, all the things I struggled with, all the procrastination, the what have you, my issues, right? It didn't change any of that to know what happened. And so I want to offer you the idea that it's incredibly valuable. Like the most healing place you can go with your work is to engage the mysterious, the unknown. So let me give a few examples here. Three of the most healing things that I think we know of in life right now. Three of the most healing things you could do with your time and your energy and your attention all involve experiences that science doesn't have any good, clear explanation of yet, that there aren't a whole lot of rational, clear, measurements or understandings of, and yet we know these are real experiences, and the metrics around them is that these are the most healing experiences we can have. So the first one that comes to mind, that might be perhaps a little obvious given that we are talking about the psychedelic experience, right? We're talking about how to work with psychedelics, is the mystical experience. So far, it looks like the data around psychedelic mystical experiences and resolving mental health issues is that overwhelmingly the more often that people, or not the more often, it's more common for people who have had a mystical experience to also report more improvement, better improvement when it comes to their mental health, whether it's outcomes around depression or anxiety or what have you. The mystical experience is undeniably transformative of our perception of ourselves, of our perception of life around us, our perception of our place in the universe, our perception of the world, of people, of human relationships. And so once all of that has been transformed by really this profoundly mysterious, hard to quantify experience, it really, everything changes often for the better in terms of our mental health and our well-being. Now, science is trying to figure out what a mystical experience is, what happens in the brain, what's going on in that moment, like in terms of meaning making, in terms of, we can kind of describe it, but we still don't know really exactly what it is and what's happening during mystical experience. It's still largely very mysterious in terms of modern science. And yet, again, it's one of the most healing, powerful things you can do. Like if you're going to use psychedelics for self-healing, I would say unarguably, you want to aim yourself towards a mystical experience in terms of being the optimal healing potential. There's a lot with you that you can do with it from there, but it's huge. It really redefines everything else in your life. Right. Another example that, as a hypnotherapist, to me is really obvious. For a lot of people, this is so mysterious that they don't have a good grasp of what this even means when I say it, is the unconscious mind. So this is another thing that, again, we know exists. We know that there is some sort of deeper level to information processing, to intelligence, to the psyche, if you will, the mind, than just the conscious cognitive rational mind. We know this. There's a lot to show that in terms of kind of neuroscience and brain science and brain imaging. There's a lot of anecdotal evidence of this. There are multiple types of therapy built around this. We know it's a thing. We know it's a powerful thing. In fact, a lot of the most healing therapeutic moments come when a person can go in and allow their unconscious to do the healing, to do the processing, rather than trying to cognitively, consciously understand it, because the cognitive conscious mind just can't process all the information properly. So this is another place where, as a hypnotherapist, again, I'm biased, so I'll own that. Like I'm not, I don't want to, assume that everyone else buys into what I bought into as a hypnotherapist about the unconscious mind. But from my point of view, it's very real. And it's definitely the power inside of us that has the ability to self-heal. And when people let go of trying to know consciously first, what I see all the time when I'm working with people and I steer them into engaging their unconscious mind and allowing it to process the thing, they get these huge breakthroughs, these huge lasting transformations. They get these huge kind of aha moments where they consciously, cognitively get it after the unconscious has already kind of started to do its work and heal. So again, this is another place where, we would like to know consciously and cognitively, what the problem is or how to fix it or, what do I need to do? And yet it's through simply engaging the unconscious mind directly and working with it directly that I see the fastest, deepest, most profound results for people. So that would be my second example. A third example, and this is kind of what set off me thinking about this again, is I heard somewhere, I forget where, I think I heard it in a podcast, recently someone was talking about how we still don't know a lot about sleep. And yet sleep is very clearly, like if there's one life hack you could do to massively improve your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health, your overall sense of well-being, your longevity in life. If you want to improve all your metrics, like as a whole, the one thing you could do would be improve your quality of sleep. And it's the same thing here. We know more about sleep probably than we do about the unconscious mind or about the mystical experience, but we still don't know a lot about sleep. It's still very mysterious to science. And yet, it's something we do every night, and it's something that is make or break to our well-being. And I think there is kind of a common, from my perspective, a common line through with all three of these, which, whether you want to think of in terms of unconscious mind experience or, the deeper self, or what have you, in all of these different domains, we're kind of working with the same layer of our being. And that layer of our being is inherently mysterious and much deeper than just our egoic identity, conscious, rational, everyday waking state kind of self. And so I wanted to just put that out there to you because you may be someone, I don't know who you are, right? But you may be someone who is on a healing path and wanting to heal. And you may be in that place of really wanting to consciously, cognitively know, or feeling like you need to totally understand all the pieces of what's going on with yourself in order to heal. And in my experience, one of the best things you can do is kind of, you don't have to let that go necessarily, but just kind of put it aside, put it on pause, like put it in its place, and just kind of, don't let that impulse overtake your entire process. Rather, just kind of hold it loosely and gently and just engage the mysterious, whether that's mystical experience or doing unconscious mind work, sleeping, or anything like that, meditating, starting to engage the unknown, the undefinable, the ineffable in you, and see what happens. Because in my experience, that's where the transformation is. That's really where the transformative power lies. So there's kind of an element of trust here and a willingness to put the knowing on the back burner and trust that as whatever needs to heal or move heals or moves first, then you start to get the insight afterwards. So I just kind of want to put that out there and share, because I think this is an important thing that doesn't get spoken about enough in this psychedelic healing space. So anyways, that's my thoughts for now. Hope you enjoyed it. Talk to you guys soon.